Good evening, all. How you guys doing? Big hi to Albatross, Pix Post, and Low Veg in the Twitch chat. Welcome, Low Veg. Good to see you. And thanks for the resub, Pix Post. 19 months. Can you believe that? Amazing. Thank you so much. Pixpost thinks it's the perfect stream to gain more knowledge. I'm not sure about that. I feel like we tend to focus more on animals than knowledge. But you never know. Maybe there'll be knowledge. We'll see what happens. That is learning. Yeah, we do learn about animals sometimes. That is true. Good point. I'm going to try something which I think is probably not going to work. Oh yeah, this may sound very weird. Interesting. Whoa, we need to stop that crazy noise. Yeah, that happens when I forget to mute the streaming PC's output. And something in the bot software, I think, sends audio alerts when stuff happens, like followers. But speaking of which, thank you for the follow, Dead Air X. Hey, Pulsar Octopus, welcome in. How you doing? Thanks very much, Dead Air X. Sounds great, Low Veg. What door are you using? Glad you're well, Poster Octopus. Wildfire smoke has left the area. Well, that's good. Reason 7. I've no idea if reason's bad either. It's probably fine. Yeah, free time is a precious commodity, isn't it? Yeah, sure. Of course. Thanks very much. is your all-time favourite emote? I like that dreamy bit head poppy. That's a good, yeah, it's a good phrase. I like that a lot. Thanks very much, Pixpost, for gifting a sub to Low Veg. That's amazing. Thanks so much. Always need more emotes. I think I might have 1 or 2 spare slots for new emotes. I can't remember. I think I unlocked 1 or 2. So I think at some point, since I made the original one, so there may be potential for another emote on my channel. We will see. Animated, exactly, that is the big question. Are they animated ones? That is the absolute big question. Because that's a big difference, isn't it? Where is that these days? Let me just have a quick look. Emotes. Wait for it. Not seeing any slots. So maybe I've used them. Bonus animated emotes 2 out of 2, which I think you get for achieving certain things on Twitch. Can't remember what I achieved to get those, to unlock those, but I used them for the synth, the orange keyboard, and the shorty. Although the shorty one, although I love Shorty the robot, I feel like that one isn't the best emote, so maybe that one could get replaced. Oh, I get another slot if we get to 20 sub points. And then I get another animated slot. So, yeah, that's possible. But I think maybe I could swap out one of the existing ones, probably the shorty one. This one, I love this guy, but I'm not sure, it's just not big enough. Just not sure it makes the absolute best one. So I think maybe, yeah, exactly. It's a good idea, but it's not the best. So anyway, that one could go, I think, maybe, and get replaced. And then if we get to 20 sub points, and we're on 18 at the moment, then I get another new one as well. Anyway, I do have one idea that I've been thinking about for an emote, but I'm open to other ideas. Probably get rid of some of the word ones. Yeah, the word ones. That's true. Oh yeah, I forgot I even had that one. Good input. How does that one even? Oh yeah, that one can go. I'm gonna take that one off now. Let me do that whilst I'm live. Yes, right. So, but that's only a unanimated slot. People do use Raid and maybe Wave. That little orange robot is from my Awakening project. It's basically, well, that link tells you all about it, but it was a project about a broken down android stranded on a desert planet, and all different creators created stuff to do with that theme. And one guy from Berlin built an actual robot it basically like boots up, and then it's got various screens. Like it's got two eyes that are basically separate screens, and then it has some like side screens and stuff as well. And it basically goes through a sequence of, I think it's about 10 minutes long, maybe 15, where it kind of gradually gains consciousness and gets more battery power and stuff. And it's all quite nerdy, but I love that. And ultimately, the robot kind of gains consciousness and composes a poem. So this is a physical like robot called Shorty, and I think there's 5 different poems that it can end up in each time it runs through this sequence. So basically this was part of my project, and Shorty was on display as part of the physical exhibition in London. Anyway, it was quite cool, so that's what that emote's about. So I love Shorty, but I'm not sure it makes the best emote because it's too small. Emotes are too small, basically. Yes, there's a piece by Pixie Post in that project as well. But I think, yes, he is a bit like Wall-E. I think that was at least some of the inspiration Low Veg for that robot. Really had a good time. Feel free to play with the chatbot commands as well, of which there are many. Yes, if you just want to try something simple, then you can just change the colour of the lights, like this. Although purple looks more blue when it comes out on the camera, but anyway, it is purple in the studio. The light's a little bit different, but and then there's loads of other ones that do crazy stuff. don't you think that might be a bit overpowering of the rest of it? I don't know. No, it would be amazing. Okay. Hey Blue Penguin, welcome in, how you doing? What is a mushroom lamp? Where are you, Blue Penguin? You're not in London, are you? Or are you? And mushroom lights like this. Morecambe Bay. How is it there? Newcastle, cool. Quite a few people in the UK tonight. twitched out. How can you say that? Welcome back and welcome to Hearing, Blue Penguin. Welcome in Behold Stories. Sounds good, Behold Stories. I think we're lucky to share our human world with modular synthesizers. Hi there, I'm Jay Wolf. Welcome in. How you doing? What's going on indeed? Good question. What is going on? I am creating improvised electronic music with a modular synthesizer. Which I'm guessing from your question you haven't seen before. So modular synthesizer is basically lots of different modules from different places, and then you build your own kind of custom instrument, and then you wire it all together to make it do stuff. Kind of like the Lego of electronic music. That's my short description. How long did it take to build that? I'll say 5. It might be nearly 6 years now. I don't know, 5 or 6 years since I've been doing modular synths, and it's basically a work in progress. Like, I've kind of reached a point for a while now where I haven't really kept adding more stuff on, but I do switch stuff in and out still quite a lot. So maybe like try a different module or sell a module and get a different one. And then it's just a continual experimental framework, really, for trying different stuff out, new techniques, and yeah, the beauty of it is that every time you rewire it, you're kind of like making a new instrument. So it's quite time consuming, but it is quite satisfying, and well, I like it, clearly. I know what to touch when because I play it a lot. Just like any other instrument, it's just like a lot of practice. So yeah, just trying different things with each other and kind of knowing what they do, and then I'll always try something new and like experimental, and then if that works, I might use it again. But in the same way, it's like because of the nature of the instrument kind of wired together, you can't reproduce the exact same thing again anyway. So it's more like you learn how things work together through a lot of practice, I suppose. Yeah. You say I have no shortage of wires, but there's always a need for more wires around here, low veg. How long have I been making music? Probably all my life, I guess. More seriously in the last... all my life, really. Yeah, all my life. I've been doing Twitch for... How long have I been doing Twitch? Is it 4 years? 3 or 4 years? I've been doing Twitch. Modular, I think 5-ish. But some kind of music, yeah, my whole life. Yes, the white keyboard has a 4-track sequencer in it, so I tend to sequence like the more melodic parts in here, but I have other sequencers in the modular for other stuff, basically. I can use both. But I tend to use this for kind of some of my more modular parts, so like I'll play something and then I'll kind of loop it. Oh, it's definitely a thing. It's all about the doorless, is what they call it, world of creating music without a computer, basically. And there's all kinds of options for doing that in terms of devices with sequences, with keyboards, without keyboards, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Everything is wired to a clock, yes. So in my case, the Keystep Pro, which is the white keyboard, is my master clock, but the clock then goes into a module in the modular, which then divides that and multiplies it and gives me all of the clock variants that I need to other sequences and stuff in the modular. And then that basically distributes it around so that I've got, you know, clock everywhere for delay, and yeah, I've got 3 or 4 different types of sequences, I guess, including this for percussion. I'll do all of that one now. You're welcome. Yes, the thing on the wall is the modular. So these, all this stuff. Something is glitching out. That's nice. Let's get rid of that. It's having a funny 5 minutes. I think it's my headphones. You play the piano and it goes into the modular. Kinda. Yeah. Well, so yeah, you record like. Let me try and demonstrate. Well, not with that sound. It's not really like, it's more like it records like the note information. Okay, so I'm gonna just record a simple part so you can see. So basically I'm gonna have a 4-bar part. And I'm just gonna record some chords. and then now I can loop that. Yeah, so gate and CVs from the keyboard, or MIDI, then into a MIDI to CV converter. And then that all goes into the modular. Yeah, and then that all gets wired to various voices, which have all kinds of interesting modulation. And that's where the kind of interesting stuff is in terms of sound design, and then ultimately into a mixer with some effects, which is here, and then out into the streaming computer, or into the external mixer, which then goes into the streaming computer, and then out to the world of Twitch. Each module does different things. So a module could be an oscillator, a filter, an envelope, a mixer, an effect, a whole synth voice of some kind, a drum synth, a weird, unusual sequencer, a sampler, wave folder, for example. Basically anything to do with making music. And some of them are multifunction as well. Some of them are analog, some of them are digital, but they all interface with each other via CV control voltage. So they don't talk to each other inside the case at all. You have to wire them together to make stuff happen. I can do a performance synth actually. I can make that happen. Try that. That's not it. So it's like a huge door, kinda? Yeah, kinda, yeah. It's kind of like way of making a whole music production, or at least mine is. Some people use a modular for different things. Sometimes people have a modular and it's just for one voice, or they just use it for effects, or they just use it for drums. But the way I've designed my system is so that I can play live sets with just a modular, or at least nearly just a modular. Catch you later, Pixie Post. Thanks for coming. We're going to wind down in a few minutes anyway. Yeah, good questions, guys. Thank you. Bad behaviour goes unstopped. What are we going to do? Thanks so much for the follow, RMJ Wolf. Appreciate it. No problem, anytime. There are a lot of trees. I work in the music industry, but I don't just make music. Yes, I am sidechaining a compressor on one of the pad sounds. At least not all the time, but I am quite a lot right now. Very obviously right now. That's what you're hearing. That's just turned it off. It is a good thing. It depends on what you want. It depends if you like it. That sound rip. It gives that kind of. It gives that kind of drive. Main tune, no. Although, actually, saying that, you might be hearing a bit of that because I've just realised I'm pushing the overall levels a lot, and there is a compressor and limiter on the final bus on the streaming software. So you might be hearing a little bit of that. On the pad, I'm doing it intentionally. Anyway, I'm going to wind up there for the evening because it's got a bit crazy and I need some sleep. Yeah, the pad sidechain compression is intentional. If you're hearing it on the whole mix, it's probably just because I'm hitting the emergency limiter on the final output a little bit, which I might have been right at the end there because I was. Why is that so loud? Actually, yeah, some of this is a bit out of control. Yeah, it's right. Anyway, we are going to find somewhere cool to raid onto. Which I do not think will be difficult. We're going to raid on over to I say Chow, he might be about to finish, but that's fine. So this week it's 808 Day, 8th of August, to celebrate the Roland TR-808 drum machine, which is basically the foundation of much dance music. And Golden Shrimp Guild, of which I am part, is doing a 4, maybe even 5 day long raid train. That's very annoying. And we're going to raid into that, where there'll be lots more amazing electronic music going on. I'm just trying to work out if Charo's just finishing. Let's just do it. Thanks very much. Low Veg and RMJ Wolf, great to meet you guys. Thanks for all the nice questions and comments. I like chatting about that kind of stuff, so I like those kind of things. We're going to raid onto Charo, and there is basically many hours of amazing electronic music to come as part of Golden Shrimp Guild's 808 Day Synthon. Join me there.